Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Confessions from the Front Seat of the Impala. Today's episode is centering around Season 3 of Supernatural. It's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get these out at least once a month. I know usually around this time of the year, for anybody who has listened to our previous episodes that have been uploaded before this one, we have had a mental health episode that has been uploaded, and everybody knows that this time of the year is busy, stressful, and pain in the ass.
Yes.
Speaking of pain in the ass,
Not
we
much
are
of a
both back.
disclaimer, but not as much of a disclaimer as usual,
Yes, we are back. So, as Darcy just said, not much of a disclaimer, and that is absolutely true. These episodes for the Supernatural breakdowns are our milder episodes. Yet we do still have some obscenities that get thrown in there. Is some obscure comments that may happen. We do use language in this one like daddy douchebag. If you guys do not care for it, ignore the word or move on.
If you've watched the show, you would call them that.
If you guys have seen the show, then you guys know why we call them that. But at the same time, if you guys don't like it, sorry, not sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Get
Also,
the fuck out.
I want to clarify again, it's not about Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's about the character he plays in Supernatural. I get it, he's a bit of a dick in that other show, Walking Dead, but I'm not talking about his character. I'm talking about his character as being a douche, not the actor who's really nice in real life. No, I'm not talking about him.
He's more of a dick in The Walking Dead than he actually is in Supernatural.
But that's what I wanted to clarify. It's not the actor himself. It's just the character he plays.
No, absolutely. We actually do love Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an actor. He is a great actor. He does seem to find roles that either suit him very well or they just don't suit him at all. But regardless, his roles are very good that he chooses. He seems to be like an actor that loves to pick and choose his roles that are going to suit him for him.
It made him a sex symbol, though, for Supernatural, yes. I think. Total daddy vibes for most girls and boys.
Can't complain about that.
So, we are not here to discuss Daddy Douchebag and his sex appeal. We're here to discuss Season 3, a discussion breakdown of Season 3. 16 episodes. This is apparently because they weren't sure if it was going to be renewed. That's why there was only 16 episodes. But there was still a ton of filler episodes, partial filler episodes. But we will discuss that.
And we are going to, I wouldn't say zoom through this episode, but the episode. And I want to give a big shout out. And if you guys are able to hear it in the background, a clap for Darcy for breaking down these episodes from
gargantuan episodes. That
are
like
these gargantuan, ginormous, long 26-page episodes down to 9 pages. She did a absolute amazing job to break these down, to get these down to trying to break these down from our normal 3-4 hour episode to hopefully we can get it broke down to at least an hour and a half episode. Make it more, I guess, easier on the ears and manageable to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as we always talk about, guys, up until season 12, Darcy has the reins on these episodes. I am here. I will throw comments in. If she asks anything, I will answer. But these are Darcy's. Let's get to it. Let's get this episode broke down, have a few discussions, and then have a good one.
Well, we left the end of season 2, yes, where they opened the Hellgate with those special kids. And Sam was killed, and Dean was heartbroken. Poor Dean. For what happened to his brother, yet he was more like a father than a parent, so it was absolutely devastating to lose him. And if you can remember, they show it at every recap now, in every episode of him dying in his arms, basically. Very depressing. But season 3, episode 1 is called The Magnificent Seven, and at this point, Dean's already brought his brother back. The gates are already been opened. And this is basically what happens afterwards. It shows you, like, once the Hellgate has been open, where the smoke goes, and the black smoke is basically, or hundreds, if not maybe thousands of demons, not even souls, just demons fleeing basically. And this was apparently a plan, as we find out in this episode as well. So Dean decides to take a walk to the crossroads and make a deal just like his dad did. Seems the Winchesters never get a happy ever after, do they? So Sam has been brought back. He has no idea. He doesn't know he's been brought back, basically, at this point. And also there's a lot of guilt in this, as you'll find out when I read through, about basically Dean making a decision that his dad did when he was lying dying in a hospital bed, and he never got that option, say yes or no. He does the exact same thing. History repeats itself when Sam dies, and he makes that decision to give up his soul for 12 months, basically. 12 months he gets for his soul, an eternity of torment in hell, to bring his brother back because he promised his dad. That's basically what happens. So Black Smoke escapes, goes through the towns, whatever small towns, and as you can remember from the previous seasons, a demon doesn't have to ask your opinion, well, your permission. It can just basically go into your body and hijack your meat suit, as they call it, and that's pretty much what happens. So the eeriness of the
Kinky.
music, it is, yes, but you'd probably have to ask permission now in the world that we live in, or demons would just be even more wrong. Yes.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Can I just, hijack you, possess you a little bit, make you do things you don't want to do? Pretty please?
And also, like, cause you loads of pain, and you have to watch whenever you want, because I'll just literally just randomly wake you up at random times and make you watch what I'm doing. That's what pretty much the meat suit is for.
That's even
So,
more kinkier than just hijacking a body. Yeah, I'm gonna make you
um,
watch what I'm doing.
it's just like, yeah, it's like I've thought about this. I've been planning this, if you will. You don't know how long they've been in hell, though. That's the thing. Some of them do talk about being hundreds of years or thousands of years, and some of them could be recent. So the Black Smoke has been escaping into small towns, inhabiting obviously its population. It's basically civilian life, basically. The eeriness, I said, they can encapsulate it in creating the loot, is simple, yet it's enough to show you that we ain't in Kansas anymore. And again, if you've never seen Wizard of Oz, what the fuck. Lights flickering, just a whole lot of crazy, and once it had escaped, that's it, no one knew who or what had escaped until it was too late, because again, it was literally just them all trying to escape at the one time. So you didn't know who was getting out or what range of evil, isn't it? And more disturbed demons that were coming out. So it was basically more of a, if you don't go now, you're not getting out at all. So Sam's innocence seems to have gone, experiencing Dean's bedroom noises. Sorry. This is basically, I forgot about this. Basically, Dean's got one whole year. So he's making the most of it in Dean fashion, drinking and basically being a whore, a man whore. Yeah, we all know Dean. We wouldn't have him any other way. Drinks, says foul language, eats cake, loves pies in plural, and he does what he does best. He's living his best life. Good on him. Fictional character from a fictional universe. So 365 days, 1 year, 12 months for his soul, for Sam to live. That's a brother's bond. That's taking a bond another step very, very far. This episode is based around the 7 deadly sins, and it's not like the 7 deadly sins as an act. They're actually people, they're demons, and they're all basically in one town all together causing havoc, chaos, what they do best. They've been stuck in hell being tortured. So they're basically a massive playground of doing whatever the fuck they want and taking people out all at the same time. Dean says Candygram, which again is an iconic line from Blazing Saddles. Families that slay together, Winchesters, yes, stay together even with crazy bargaining, basically your soul away for your brother. That's just epic bond, epic goals right there. Bobby was on it like a car bonnet, which means he was right to it with the research as per usual, because they're trying to get out of the deal, and also they are trying to figure out, it's Bobby who actually figures out that it's actually the 7 deadly sins that are actually there, because Bobby's smart as fuck, isn't he? They would be lost without him. So how many places did the demons get to when they were unleashed? They found out 17 cities so far, and it's been 2 weeks since it. So think how many, if they only found out about 17, it could be anywhere all over America where they went to. So we find out that there's a war, and they spoke about this war before, but again, they don't specify what the war actually is. Everybody thinks it's between hell and nothing else, but it's everything, not just hell and earth, it's heaven and God knows what. It's basically everybody's fighting because there's shit going to happen, prophecies and all that carry on. So that's what they're talking about, the war, and apparently the special kids were like warriors that were going to fight in this war and all that stuff. So if not Sam, then who? One of the seven turns around and says, "We are Legion, we are one." This is the way they said that basically, even though they're separate entities as a whole, no one on Earth had the pleasure of defeating them completely. But they've not came toe to toe with Winchesters though. That's what I had commented, because they haven't came toe to toe with the Winchesters. They've heard about the Winchesters, of course, but they haven't came toe to toe with them. Sam Winchester, the Boy King. What's better, Sam Winchester Spoonbender or Boy King? I'm not sure. Or Sam Winchester, the spoon-bending Boy King, it could be. We also find a weapon that kills demons, which Bobby's response was, "There is no such thing." His facial expression kind of described how I seen it for the first time. They always say you can't kill a demon apart from that gun, the Colt. And then we find out there's actually other tools. Obviously, they're not going to tell you if there's other things that can kill them. Why the fuck would they want you to know how you can destroy them? Like a weakness, you wouldn't. Again, always with the sharing. The boys bickering about the decisions. That's how this episode actually ends. Them bickering about shit. Sam sounding like he's ungrateful for Dean bringing him back to life, and, well, just Sam being Sam and Dean being Dean. I bet Sam would bring Dean back, though, without a doubt, to save him. Can Dean be saved? Will they manage to save him? Because this is what this whole season's about. Even though he's made the deal, they seem to think that they can get out of this deal or find a way to get him out of it, like a loophole, so he doesn't have to go to hell. So the next episode is... Do you have anything else to say about episode 1? Because it was really just a recap and then just...
No, I do not.
So season 3, episode 2 is called "The Kids Are Alright." Never alright when it's the kids. They're always creepy. Yes, always creepy. Not a filler episode, but it's an old flame. It's showing how Dean is without hunting. And again, we've seen him before as a regular guy with someone he cared about, but this is a different woman and she's got a son. And the son is very, very like Dean. So again, if you've never seen it and you see season 3, episode 2, you were just like, that kid's obviously his. And she said that she's got a type and that Ben isn't his. But I always felt that Ben was, just because it was hinted way too much. So Dean's also got a reaction like Bobby, where he literally looks at the woman and asks, can't remember her name actually. Ugh. I can't remember. She says, "I have a type." And his face is priceless because she says no. That's a birthday party for the wee boy, and all the mothers are fussing over Dean, and that's apparently the best sex she ever had. I was like, because that's what you talk about, a child's fucking birthday party with your neighbours. What the fuck? And then it just cuts to the camera of Dean eating something, and it just makes me laugh. This episode is about children being replaced by a version of them, and they tend to kill the father, and the original children, are kept locked up somewhere because they want to start, it's literally infiltrating the family basically, and they get really close to the mother. And then this one mother who knew that her daughter wasn't her daughter basically, and she actually saw the reflection, I think it was a changeling, and she knew her daughter wasn't her daughter. It happens to Ben as well, but again, they find the lair, they find out it's the friend, the realtor woman, who's actually the changeling, like, master, basically. And she's the one who's been doing it. Dean tries to be daddy, and this is what is a good part of the episode, is the fact that he tries to protect Ben, because he's been picked on by a wee douche that's took his games console off him. I think it's like a Game Boy or something like that. And he shows him how to hit him, and his mum isn't happy because he used violence. And Dean just laughs because he's like, that's my boy type thing. That's why. And I do feel that he was reflecting on, if Ben was his, then he only has 12 months and he's just found out about him now. One, that was a dickish thing if he is his kid and he doesn't know about him, and he's like, so you're like 10 years old or something, like 9 or 10 or something, this child. So he's literally missed out on a big chunk of his life anyway if he was his. And he's got a year left to go and he'd miss all the milestones and stuff. So it kind of reflects on he's only got 12 wins, and what if that was his son, he's only got 12 wins, which is a short time, and it's a crazy huge shock. And that's what that episode I think was about, how he's now making a realization that holy fuck, I've only got 12 wins. Did you feel that way as well?
Yeah, I did. Thinking back on that episode, that having 12 months to live and then there's a possibility that you have a child, that's
Fucked up.
a lot. That's fucked up, yeah. That's a lot to even kind of like fathom or, even think about, process, yeah.
I've got some of your words, don't worry.
Appreciate it.
So, Season 3, Episode 3, Bad Day at Black Rock. The recap, again, the road so far. This is a filler episode. There's an additional recap, and it's it's a memory of Gordon. Remember the douchebag hunter that everybody fucking hates? He hates everyone, and he hates Sammy Winchester, and he hates Dean for loving his brother, and he hates everyone who wants to fight the good fight with Sammy Winchester. We remember Gordon, he's a bit of a twin, isn't he? Do you remember good old Gordon?
Yes, I remember good old Gordon, and still don't care for him till this day.
No. So, Ruby is a demon, and she told Sam that she can help him with Dean's deal. Now, just because she's got a semi-pretty face, and she does play the Black Canary, that actress, in Arrow, you're still not believing a demon. Come on. They've always got an ulterior motive. Always. So her saying she could help Sam, I'm sorry, if there was a way, Bobby would have found it. Sorry. But if there was a way, Bobby would have found it. I'm not apologising. Seriously, that sorry's coming out. What do you think? If there was a way to save Dean, Bobby would have found it. He would have found it.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely would have found it.
So gullible Sam falls for it because he's obviously thinking with downstairs Sam and not upstairs Sam. So Sam, you so gullible, wake up, which is true. Gordon's been in prison, by the way, because remember in the last season, he got found with his cool car with the cool like slidey door, the slidey drawer with all the fucking funky weapons and shit in the seat. So he's still in jail with that, and we've seen it before. It looks like he gets broken out, and Bella's in this, the professional thief, and we know her. And she has a bit of a twin. We don't like her, even though she's hot, even though she was a vampire as well. What was she better? Was she better as a hot vampire, or was she better as Bella in Supernatural? Again, comment, let us know. She's more trouble than she's worth. She is, because she's out for herself. She's a professional fucking thief of the supernatural and the occult, so she doesn't give a fuck who she stabs or stands on to get what the fuck she wants. Bella has an item in a curse box stolen for her, a client. I'm going to actually gullible. Right, Gordon's in prison. He hasn't broke out yet, isn't that fucking episode? Daddy Douchebag has a storage facility, and now this was something that kind of annoyed me, because why the fuck would Dean not know that his dad had a storage facility? Because he had guns in there, weapons, artifacts, books, loads of shit. Yes, you'd keep it a secret, but why would you keep it from your son who you hunt with, who could actually be using some of that shit right now? Or could potentially use that shit right now. So Bella knew what it was. It's a curse box, and it's a fucking rabbit's foot. And this is the episode that you'll probably agree with me, Luna. How funny is Sam though? Once you touch the rabbit's foot, that's it. You get the luck. But once you don't have it, you become really, really unlucky, to the point where Sam loses a fucking shoe. And he's just like, I lost my shoe. And he's just standing there like a wee lovesick puppy, like I've lost my poor wee lamb. Hard luck, Chuck Sam. Seriously, the moral of this story is, don't touch the rabbit's foot, because it's whole load of fucked up. Bella's a professional thief. Don't fucking trust her. She's a bit of a cunt, but she's hot. So that's why I think she gets away with much more stuff than she does. Ruby's a bitch, and Gordon's a dickhead that's in prison. So that was episode 3 of season 3, or something will get cut out because I went too far ahead. So I don't think you've got anything else to say about that, have you? The fact that Sam was gullible and that episode was filler and introducing a new character. So Sin City, following omens in Ohio. Is there something you want to tell me about Ohio?
We don't have to go there.
Because there's been a few episodes where there's been weird fucked up shit, and it's in Ohio.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. So some demons from the Hellgate have set up shop in this wee small town, a religious town, and all the fun is flowing across the streets. Sex, drugs, alcohol, lowering inhibitions all across town. Who doesn't want to live there? So apparently Dean has a hunter friend who's there, Poor guy gets taken out because obviously that's going to happen, because why else would they go there? There's weird shit happening. The pastor's been taken over. The barmaid, the hottest fuck barmaid, has been taken over. No shit, Sherlock. And also the pastor and the barmaid are buying, which is probably setting off someone somewhere, no doubt. The cult is basically unusable at this point, worthless for killing demons at this time, and Bobby's trying to fix it. And Ruby shows up, and Bobby literally shoots her. I was just like, oh man, you have my heart, man. Seriously, you shot her. He didn't even let her talk, man. He just shot her because he's no fucking listening, because he's not a gullible chump like Sam. So I was like, go Bobby, yes, because he shot her. So she fixes the gun. But again, Bobby still doesn't fucking trust her. And that's one of the, again, it's a rookie mistake. Never fucking trust them. No, no, no. Like I said, demons, can they be trusted? Can they fuck? Hello, season 3, not season 1. That is a rookie mistake, which it is. Sam gets called princess again. I did talk about that because we probably should tally the amount of times he calls him princess. Flirty band. Bartender again tries to give Dean her best moves, but he doesn't take them because, again, it's all bait. They find out more things about the war between Hell and Sam and blah, 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 blah. This season is not really that eventful. There's some really funny bits in it, and you'll probably hear blah, blah, blah a lot because it's tiresome. So the bartender says that Azazel was a tyrant and there was a plan, but, well, his plan of chaos, it just wasn't basically what most of Hell wanted. They were all about Sam basically being the different, not even leader of Hell, because they not really said it. He was just going to change things. Don't know whether it was his powers or whatever, but he was going to change things for the better, which it makes no sense because he was the fighter of good technically, but he technically has demon blood in him that technically makes him evil, but he's not evil because he chooses to use his powers save. Yes. So it kind of contradicts itself. Why the fuck would we be helping a fucking demon unless he was around demons in a more positive light rather than killing them, which again, it's so confusing. So boring and predictable episode, but again, using the quote that kills the meat suit and the demon, because again, the gun has been fixed. So they weren't actually expecting the cult to actually work as well because they take them all out. And they, again, boring episode. Do you have anything to add about the not so filler episode that was just boring as fuck?
You basically said it. It was boring as fuck. I mean, we go from making rookie mistakes and Ohio. Even though there's a lot we could really discuss about Ohio, but I'd rather not. Because there's a lot of stupid shit that happens in Ohio because, well, for some reason Ohioans are just stupid. I'm apologizing to anybody who lives in Ohio, and I know I do have at least one person that does listen to our podcast, and she is 9 years old and she's from Ohio. So that's beside the point.
But you can say
Ohio sucks
because you are from there, so therefore you can say that.
Exactly. So but yeah, no, that's like you said, it was a boring episode, and quite honestly, guys, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. After literally the first 3 episodes of this season, they're pretty much all fillers and they're pretty much all boring.
Yeah. So we're going to describe to you how boring they are, but in a more whimsical way.
So, let's see. Just scrolling through the notes. Filler. Oh, would you look at that? Another filler.
I was going to say Bueller.
Oh, would you look at that? Another filler. Oh, another filler. Oh, jeez. Rest of the episodes that we have.
There's not many that actually have proper story.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally on 4. We're going to 5 now.
Yeah.
Filler. Episode 6. Filler. Episode 7. Not a filler. Episode 8. By golly, would you look at that? It's another filler.
And another filler?
9. Huh. Another filler. Yeah.
No.
Supernatural is very...
It's the king of filler.
Yes, very well known for their filler episodes. Granted, I do love some of the fact that they're just trying to add a little bit into the storyline to avoid shortening the storyline. I get it, but come on now. That many fillers in a season? We literally have the rest of we have 1.
And remember the first episode is usually a recap for most of the
Yes.
episode. And the end episode usually is a recap of everything so far and then what to expect next season.
Yeah,
So
and I'm gonna say season 10 or episode 10 as a filler because it definitely is just a backstory of Bobby, and it's not really needed, but it's needed. So it's kind of one of
I
those
think it is
50-50.
needed. I think it is because
Yeah.
it just gives the person he is.
So 1, 2, 3,
It's filler.
4, and 5. So pretty much everything that we've literally discussed and what we have left, 5 episodes out of it are not filler episodes.
So this will be a quick one. Can't say season
Yeah.
4 will be, but hey. So
Yep.
season 5 is called Bedtime Stories, and it's
Episode
filler.
5.
It's a bit meh, more brother shiz. So it's about an episode, but it's mostly Dean's realization of his actions of being back, of bringing Sam back. And is there anything that has caused something else to hijack in him to bring him back? Because that's what they said. Like, are you sure that the full Sam came back? Because even Bobby says that as well. Because sometimes when people are brought back, they're not always themselves. Sometimes there's a part of someone else there, kind of maybe hijacking in, and maybe he can take over. That's how they've been thinking. Said, well, once it's dead, let it stay dead. How many times have you heard that before? Not just in this show, but in many things. Yet they didn't. It's like the
One too many
original.
times.
Yep, it's like the original Grimm fairy tales. This episode, where it's gory and violent, not like the fluffy. Well, Disney isn't fluffy, but you know what I mean. But it's like more of a fluffy, kind of softer way of the original Grimm fairy tales. I love Grimm fairy tales. I read them to my son when I was pregnant with him because I wanted him to be a weirdo as well. So yes,
Hey.
Dean wants Sam to stop trying to look for a solution because again, when you think about it, he knows himself you're not going to get out of it. I think he already knew that. So looking for solution and wasting time when they could have actually been spending time with each other rather than wasting it trying to find a solution basically. Doesn't want him to save him. He wants to spend proper time with him because time's running out. Dean would do that deal over and over again to bring Sam back, and he has said that plenty. And you hear it throughout the seasons that he doesn't have any regrets about doing it because he made a promise to his dad, and his dad obviously promised his mother he would always look after the kids and all that carry on the way parents are. So again, parent responsibility type thing, kind of just. I feel like they're kind of enforcing it in this season, enforcing the fact that he's not just a brother and he's taking responsibility and he's brought him back and all that kind of. So Sam summons a crossroads demon and she talks about their father doing the same thing for Dean and that Dean done for Sam, history repeating itself. The crossroads demon asks where Sam got the adapted coat and she already guesses that it's Ruby. And she said she'll get what's coming to her as she's betrayed her own kind. Now, even though we find out later this season, spoiler, that Ruby it was actually human before she was a demon. She made a deal basically. Sam is told that killing her, which is Crossroads Demon, won't break Dean's deal. And also that she's like the cute and cuddly version of, what really holds the deal. Dean's deal is held by someone else because a Crossroad Demon has a boss. And we've talked about this hierarchy before, and we'll probably talk about the hierarchy more because as the season go on, you learn more and more about demons and hell and everything else in between, don't we? And that was season 5 basically. So it was basically grim fairy tales that was creepy as fuck. But it was a really good it was a good episode filler, but again, don't need it and you don't need to add anything because there's literally nothing that happened in that episode, isn't there? So we've got episode 6, which is called Red Sky at Morning, which is filler. Bella's back. That bish just won't leave. It's the one when you see the ghost ship, and when you see it, you die. It's
The
cursed by
ghost
it.
ship.
Yeah. So every time anybody sees the ghost ship, you have got 7 days and then you die, is it not? 7 days or is
Huh.
it 48
Huh.
hours?
Sounds very familiar to another story called The Ring.
I know.
Oh.
So yeah, once you see the video, like we watch the tape type thing, yeah. So, but
Yep.
ghost ship stuff have been going about for forever with all different legends. But Bella is basically she sees it, and apparently the only people who see it are bad people. The curse basically is 2 brothers. One was the captain of the ship, wasn't it? And one worked in the ship, and he ends up getting his brother hung, and his brother haunts the ship. And for them to, because they say his brother's a traitor, blah, blah, blah. So basically, if you're a bad bastard, you see the fucking ship and you get your comeuppance, you end up drowning to death, even though you're not anywhere you could be drowning. So that makes you wonder, what the fuck's Bella done? Yeah, she's a thief, but what the fuck's she done for the fact that you only get it if you're a bad bastard. Like a seriously bad bastard if you've fucked up family, basically. She sees it, they try and help. This episode made me laugh because Dean signs Sam up to romancing the elderly. A thirsty old rich lady wants Sam to take her to some, as I said, tour colour place. She is a thirsty one. Takes him to like a kind of night out, and Sam and Dean's ripping the piss out of Sam in a really good way about the old lady's thirst for Sam and all that kind of. It's just really, really funny. And they bicker like old women. It's really funny. You find out again, like the captain hung his brother, and they've been settle a score. They fight, and then basically Bella gets to live, and the ship never returns again. Apparently, Sam at the end is like, "Quit worrying about me, Dean. I want you to give a crap about dying." Dean stays silent. Shock fucking horror. So that's that episode. Do you have anything to add? Because it was pointless and predictable.
Pointless and predictable. It's all that needs to be added.
I get it, you're liking the way I've actually done it now, where I write filler in big block capitals in both.
Yes, because filler episodes are not needed to have much of a say, honestly.
Yeah. So this is called Fresh Blood, which is episode 7 of season 3. And there it's just a silly wee recap of things with Gordon and shit like that. So Gordon wants Bella to lure the brothers to him, and he's going to pay her in a great Bella fashion. She betrays the boys because she's a cunt. She is. She really is. At this point, Gordon has broke out of prison, and she jokes with him and stuff about, you know, him breaking out and shit. Bella, is she hotter, as I said, as a thief or a vampire? And the weird kiss. And weird, this episode is about vampires. Coincidence, because she was a vampire in the Vampire Diary. So this actually has another alumni, I would say, for teenage vampire fiction, and that is Harmony from Buffy is in this episode, and she gets turned in this episode by a guy who's telling people it's a new drug. So not only is he turning pretty young women into vampires to replace his real family who were killed, he's not telling them they're turning into vampires and they're going crazy and killing a bunch of people. So did he think about that? No, he did not. So it's funny because Dean turns around and says to her, like, the stuff that he gave you, was it red and thick? And he's like, I goes, yeah, that was blood. Because he's just like, are you fucking kidding me? That's pretty much how I feel about that episode. So Gordon is told where the boys are. He obviously get help to get out of prison, which is that creepy guy who was in Millennium, if you can remember him. He's always creepy and everything he's in. He's just got one of those fucking faces. So Gordon becomes what he hates the most. He actually ends up becoming a vampire, which I found hilarious. It's you getting your karma. Killing all those vampires, even the vampires who actually didn't even hurt people, and killed them too. He just didn't care. You're a demon, you have to die. He doesn't care. It's like on off, right, wrong, ones and zeros, that's it. But Gordon's more of a problematic douche that really needs to be taken down. And now he's got, what I said is like, he's been turned into the one thing he hates the most. And he's got like speed. Basically, he's got speed and strength and something he can overpower anybody with, even though he's a new vampire who probably has, I don't think he's fed enough, but it's in this they talk about you only need a drop basically for you to actually be okay. You don't need lots of blood. So I think that's how they've kind of described it, that you can survive. Bella gives Dean a warning not to go after Gordon, and it's just like, what the fuck, everybody knows he's a mentalist. Dean says the next time he sees Bella he's going to kill her, and she says that she doesn't believe him, and he says, listen to my voice, and Bella says, oh fuck, that he's actually being serious. Like, the next time I see you, I'm going to fucking kill you for being a bitch, basically. It's a cat and mouse game between the boys and Gordon. Again, brothers, teamwork, make the dream work. Taking down a bad psychotic. So a vampire hunter, basically, who is basically a mentalist. Said he's been turned into the one thing he hated. And everyone you had to kill, you ended up being the thing you hated the most, and it cost you the most. It's a bit pathetic when you do think about it. Dina's working on Baby, which is the nickname that he actually says about the car. That's what he calls her. There's a rattle and he doesn't know where it's coming from. And again, they use the car Baby as which is weird that he calls the car Baby because it was his dad's car. And then I think about his mum and dad had that car and he calls it Baby. That's creepy as fuck. But anyway, moving on. kind of uses a bonding thing, like, you know, talking about the car, showing them how to do things and all that kind of thing, like a father-son moment, rite of passage type thing, because Dean's a bit particular about people who touch his car. Even when it was fucked up at the end of the first season, still wanted to rebuild it because it was his dad's car and he wanted to keep it and it had a sentimental attachment for him. So showing Sam how to do things with the car, things that you should fucking know probably. You got to know these things for the future. It's my job showing my little brother the ropes. Again, Dean playing daddy, trusting his brother to work in his car, and his father gave to him the right of pass. What do you think about that episode where Gordon got to be a vampire and get taken out?
Get what he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. It had its moments to where it felt like a filler episode, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to write filler, because there was parts of it that didn't. It's like, but it was a filler with a purpose.
Yes. So, but no, I thought it was good.
So this is a very supernatural Christmas, and this is a filler, and I do like this episode because it's based on pagan gods, and that's why I absolutely love it. So, and they have done a couple of pagan episodes, and they haven't been far from the truth, you know, that way, because I hate it when they actually start looking at lore and myths, and they don't do it right, or they misuse it, or they incorrectly use it, or whatever, and it kind of annoys me. I know that you're like that as well, with probably everything that's similar to me as well. So basically, Sam is depressing as fuck. We know this about Sam. He's not a happy guy, man. He's technically depressed all the time. So he doesn't want to be festive, and there's a bunch of shit happening in a town where people are getting dragged up the chimney and in front of kids, man, at Christmas time, man. It's fucking... Wayne's get overwhelmed at Christmas time without the fear of someone coming down their fucking chimney to give them presents, but then they take their parent and pretty much shove them up a chimney and cause pain and death. Do you know what I mean? So this is basically, there's a couple that moved there, they're creepy as fuck, they're super happy, and if you didn't realise that there was something fucking not okay with them, then you need to seriously give yourself a fucking shake. Not everyone is that happy all of the fucking time, very into Christmas, and very, very... Well, Kathy Bates in Misery, because they talk a lot like that. So there's always something up. They are hiding something. No. So the boys end up realising that there's a herb that's put in the wreaths that are on the doors of the families. And they've came from this one shop, and the shop was gifted them by this couple. And then they find out that basically the old pagan gods are the old couple who go on and on about how people used to want to be their sacrifice. They like take a fingernail from Sam and Dean, isn't it? And they take a tooth with dirty, rusty fucking pliers and everything and try and like make them the sacrifice. But it goes horribly wrong, can you imagine? And instead of being a ritualistic sacrifice, the boys, the pagan gods end up becoming their own ritualistic sacrifice. Game over. In the episode, you do see a flashback of the boys in a monkey hotel room, basically, or motel room, and their dad's not there, and it's Christmas, and the boys are literally having to make their own Christmas. And Sam has a gift for his dad. I think that Bobby had got him, because they've showed a similar kind of flashback before. It was a necklace he bought his dad, but he gave it to Dean, and Dean wears it. It's one of the things he actually took off the... Oh, what the fuck is it? Oh, Shapeshifter. Remember when he turns into Dean? He takes Dean's necklace, and then when he obviously kills the shapeshifter, he takes the necklace off him because it's like sentimental attachment. It's the same necklace that Sam gave to him for Christmas when he was a wee boy. So basically, you get to see how hard it is for family. For them, they only have each other, even though their dad isn't always there. So at the end of the episode, remember I said at the start, Sam was depressed as fuck and he just didn't want to fucking be nice. And I thought that was pretty selfish of him, that he didn't even want to give his brother one last memorable family time, like Christmas or whatever. So he ends up turning that around and turning that frown upside down, and he creates a tree out of magic trees, which is air fresheners, and they have like eggnog, and they exchange gifts, like he gets some whiskey and like oil for his car, and you know, he does stuff for... I think he gets Sam porn mags or something like that, which I think is incredibly inappropriate to get your brother, knowing that you share a room in hotel rooms and you've just bought him good mags, for fuck's sake. So, what did you think about that? It's not about the money, it's about the time you spend together, memories. That was pretty much that
Yeah,
episode.
I mean, I like that episode. It wasn't too bad of an episode at all.
But do you not think buying your brother a porn mag for a present and sleeping next to him in the same room is just a wee bit inappropriate?
No, not one bit.
Seriously? Not inappropriate in the slightest?
No.
Seriously, check your head, boy. So, season 3, episode 9. Whoa, and I blink, season 9. Holy shit. I can't pronounce this. It's Melius Malefic. I have a speech issue, man, and I can't articulate words properly. So, episode 9 of season 3 is filler, feels like filler, but has demonic shiz. So, chanting in Latin. Oh, this is, Desperate Housewives meets the craft. That's how I said this. So, basically, women are hexing each other, part of a coven. They don't know they're part of a coven. They've sold their soul to a demon who's basically running about in their mates or their neighbours' meat suit, and they don't know that they have pretty much been taking out the local competition. Is it between women and ex-husbands and God knows what? And one of the women actually thought they were chanting to get a cheaper mortgage rate. What the actual fuck? So Ruby shows up being a douche. She looks like she is holding in a fart or she shot herself. She just has one of those weird faces, Ruby, just because she's always angry, I think. She's holding in a poop, but that's what we. Ruby says to the boys, leave town, talking about the demon. It's way too powerful for you guys, you need to leave, basically. We find out that Ruby actually sold her soul, I think, to this demon, this witch. And that's when you find out she was human. Hex bags basically all over the place. If you don't know, hex bag basically can be put on your person or somewhere close by. Then they start chanting and then they pretty much kill you in any way that they see fit or whatever they're doing. If they think, these women don't realise whatever you curse comes back threefold. Do you know what I mean? They do end up all being killed anyway. So because that's what happens when you get in bed with a demon. It doesn't fucking turn out good. We've had 2 other seasons, we know this. So Ruby has a tendency apparently to rub demons up the wrong way, burn their bridges type thing. Ruby says to Dean, hell is where you go. Hell's where you go to forget about everything and who you were. And Dean is sarcastic as usual about it. They try and curse Dean basically, and Ruby saves him. And she says something snarky back at him. It's like, all right, short bus or something like that, like ripping the piss out of him. We love him this way. Being a bit more stubborn with a dash of cynical. I feel that he gets more cynical in season 3 because he literally has nothing to lose. What do you think?
Much to say about that.
Stubborn, he gets cynical, doesn't give a fuck. We need him to be more like that. So season 3 episode 10, you said you feel is filler, right? I don't feel it's filler because it's about Bobby's path. Bobby goes on well, Bobby doesn't actually at this point, you don't see him going on loads of jobs now. He's more a research guy. Doesn't really leave his house. My sort of type of job, not leaving the house and, everybody else goes out and does everything. So he goes in a job, but he ends up looking like he's in a coma. He's in a comatose state. No one can wake him. And then you find out it's some guy who's taking this crazy ass drug who's not been able to dream because he's a mentalist as a kid, wasn't he? And his dad, dad hits him or something, hits him across the head, doesn't he? Or something, abusive father, and he can't dream. So now that he can dream, he's going into people's dreams and he's got a total god complex and he's fucking controlling the dreams. But we get to see you've got to see Bobby's dreams a couple of times. Well, there's another time we've got to see a dream and it's back to when he's a child, not when he's married to his wife. And this is where you find out that his wife was, not only was she possessed, but he lived with her all that time. And obviously affected his mental health. It brought up obviously stuff from his past when he had an abusive dad growing up and having to watch it. And then he had an abusive wife, but at this point he didn't know his wife was possessed. And when he's in the hospital and things like that, Dean says that stuff that happened to you, did it happen like that? And he said it happened exactly like that. So he thought maybe that Bobby was, maybe his brain was kind of changing the narrative, because it was happening in real time because he was in a comatose state. But he was saying to Dean, no, that actually did happen. And Dean says, I'm really sorry that, you had one, it was your wife, basically. 2, you had to go through that. And he had no one. He wasn't a hunter at that point. And he does say that we've all became hunters for a reason. There's something that's happened, basically. What else? So you can enter the dream state basically if you ingest some of the guys, and it was hair they used for Sam because Dean ends up getting what he'll look like, and it's the black eyes, and it's like so he looks so frightened, and this is where I think again is another realization that he is going to hell and he could become like Ruby with the black eyes and he'll never be the same again. Going to fucking Hellmate is not a Disney ride. I was like, so if you thought it was going to be a easier get out of jail free card with no consequences for selling your soul, then Dean needs a fucking slap. But hey, so Dean finally admits to his brother that he's scared of dying and going to hell. So he's finally honest with not only Sam but himself. The realization that he's on borrowed time and it's counting down way quicker than he imagined. He says he would make the same decision again. The brave wee soldier that he is, like I said before, those brothers would literally take a bullet for each other, go to hell for each other. They would do everything for each other. So, what did you think about that episode? You said you thought it was filler before, though.
Did most of the, I want to say most of the parts at least were filler in it. Yes, I understand it needed a backstory. Yes.
Bobby deserved it.
Yes, Bobby did deserve it. I mean, we basically, season 1, episode 1, had a backstory of the boys, and boom, we're here now. To me, it did feel like a filler episode because was it necessary? That's too and far in between. Did we need know a little bit more about Bobby? Yes, because he did kind of get thrown in there.
But nothing else.
So,
the episode 11 has about how many lines? 5 lines.
yes.
It's a trickster episode, and if you're not aware of the trickster, I do love the actor that plays the trickster. I think he's really, really funny. And if I could be a trickster, I probably would. He basically repeats a day where the boys get killed and they've got to, like, it's like the trickster kind of reminds me of that he's put there to put them, like, derail them from, like, their path. If they get too close to something or if they're getting to something quicker than, their narrative, because obviously this is, again, I'm jumping ahead to seasons ahead, but it's the way I worked it out before I knew about those, before those seasons, basically. The story's already written because it's been spoken about that in many movies and TV shows that your story's already written, but you can change it down the line. But the main story narrative is already done. This is what it feels like when the trickster does what he does in his episodes, because it's like he's trying to put them off, sidetrack them, just like do something else, put something in their way. And this episode is just repeating its heat of the moment by Asia that plays constantly, and they're in a motel room with really bad decor from the 70s as well. It really looks like someone's threw up. It's disgusting. And it's Dean, I love it, the pig in a poke that's hilarious. And Sam's like, do you even know what that is? And he's like, nope. That was the most funny, one of the funniest parts of that episode was them reliving, getting a wee bit further each time in their Groundhog Day and them just ripping the piss. So that episode was pointless, and it is. But do you believe that the trickster's similar to that? It's like every time they get somewhere, they just kind of, a spanner goes in the works, because he's done it a few times. He's done it obviously in last season, and it was to introduce him, and then he's introduced in other seasons, obviously, as other things, because you find out other things about him, which we're not talking about today, because it's not in season 3. Season 3, episode 12, Just Bellow, build up to this war they speak of. So, as I said before, they spoke about it in the Magnificent Seven in Sin City, that there's a war coming. I think the war already started when Azazel started fucking with Waynes, basically, and putting demon blood in them. Do you know what I mean? I think the war had already started, because we said we don't know how long this has been going on for. It could be decades or hundreds of years they've been doing this stuff, and it's been a preparation type thing. We spoke about it last season as well. So FBI asshat, but he ends up getting possessed and then fighting side by side with the boys, because he realises that the boys only talk shite when they say that they have a fucking job that no one else wants to fucking do, and no one would understand it. Even if they did explain it, they wouldn't get it. Dean has said that in the past to this douchebag, and sorry, asshat, douchebag is just for their father. Sorry, I'll apologise for that. So asshat. So they end up getting arrested, as they do. And instead of flying incognito under the fucking radar because of the last time, but anyway, they're in a police station, and Ella from Lucifer is in this episode, but her character's called Nancy. Kind of typecasted.
She was so young in that episode.
I know, and of course she's a virgin, she had to die. That's basically what Ruby shows up basically to the place and says that I can basically the possession, like I was talking about before with the FBI agent, has already warned the demons and they're coming, basically. Ruby shows up. She says that she has a solution. She says that she needs something powerful, like a powerful spell that would be able to save them, get away, and basically prevent any more shit happening. But she wants to rip poor Nancy's heart from her chest. And because she is a very religious girl who believes in good versus evil, she says she makes the ultimate sacrifice and she says that she will do it. And it's actually Sam and Dean that says no. They actually turn around and say, no, that's not fucking happening. And Ruby doesn't like hearing that. And he goes, well, everybody else is going to fucking die because you won't let me kill this one person. And they're like, nah, fuck you, basically. So, because she was easy enough to, like, rather than find another way. And that's, again, it's another thing of the kind of gentleman, or even, not even a gentleman, more of a white knight. I think Dean's got that kind of complex. So they fight off the demons, but a gas explosion happens, or that's what they're calling it, and the police station and everybody in it is gone. And just before that, the FBI guy had made sure that Dean and Sam stayed down as deceased again, so no one could find them. Who is it? Who is it that causes the gas outbreak or gas leak? Yes, a little girl walks in, and now we talk about this constantly. Wee girls are creepy as fuck. They are creepy as fuck in movies, especially when they're holding an adult's hand because they try and be all innocent and shit. No, the little girl is Lilith. Lilith is the owner of the deal between Dean and the Crossroads demon. Lilith is the boss. So yeah, that's what we find out. Bella has the coat because she stole it. Ruby finds out about it and she's pissed. Ruby's give the boys hex bags to protect themselves against Lilith because Lilith is coming for them, basically. So I really didn't want Nancy to die, but she did, and that's sad. But I feel she was typecasted because she worked in a police station and she kind of did IT and stuff. Even though she was like a secretary, she kind of seems to have been typecasted even from a way back then, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely do think she was typecasted.
So season 3, episode 13 is Ghost Faces, and I have not wrote Ghost Faces. I have not wrote anything about this episode because it's those stupid ghost fucking... what would you call them? It was last season, was it not? Where they had like a stupid Blair Witch type stupid documentary. They're like ghost hunters. It was terrible. And as I was watching it, I was
You're talking
like,
about the ghost hunters that were in that log cabin making fake ghost story stuff up, and they accidentally released the demon. Yeah.
So that's all I've got to say about that episode, because the two guys that are in it annoy the fucking shit out of me. They're in other stuff similar, and they play similar characters, and maybe it's just them I just don't like. The next episode, because it's pointless, it's a seriously pointless filler. It's just filler and pointless. That's all it needed. It shouldn't have been fucking in there. I'm sorry, but no. I think it was way too early to bring them back in again. So episode 14 of season 3 is called Long Distance Call, and that is filler as well. It does kind of bring in John and Sam, but basically there is a demon that is using his job at the telephone exchange, or telecommunications exchange, and he's phoning people who have lost loved ones and posing as the relatives. And the numbers that's coming from is numbers that have not been used, like ways of telephone basically that have not been used for like over 100 years. There was also, then it was actually happening online as well. It's like coaxing their relatives to take their life basically, so they can be together forever. And imagine saying that to someone who's lost someone, no matter when they've lost the person. If you heard their voice, do you know what I mean? That's just preying on basically someone's weakness and their love for someone. And the demon's called her Cicada, but again, it's so predictable about who the person was. They even get Dean, and John is talking, and he knew things that only John would know apparently. And Sam tells him to stop being gullible, that it's not dad type thing, because demons talk, demons know things, and if he's another demon who's came out of the smoke, then he'll know about Dean and Sam and stuff enough to actually know, because the dads went to hell type of thing. So that's basically that episode, but the boys come in, they slay together, they win, the end. That's basically it. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yep, really getting through this. Season 3, episode 15, Time is on My Side. Absolutely love that song by the Rolling Stones. Used in lots of things, and it's usually used in a depressing format as well. So, we find out that Bella made a deal herself 10 years ago when her parents were killed. Apparently, her father wasn't a very nice person. She made a deal with a demon, and it was a child demon. By the way, it shows you them on a swing set in England. A crossroads demon preying on basically the heart of a child or a child of abuse, basically. Her time is running out, so she needs the coal basically because it's the only thing that can kill the demon. Lilith has got the contract for Bella's soul as well as Dean. Dean noticed that she had things of protection in her hotel room. Like she had like a herb that's used to protect herself from hellhounds and things like that. So he even realizes that yeah, she's made a deal. She's not who she says she is. And there's more to this story, but he still can't forgive her for again betraying him, stealing his fucking gun and basically putting Sam at risk with Gordon. So he'll never forgive her no matter what. And he just doesn't care. I did think that they were going to have sex though, because there was a lot of chemistry and a lot of I hate you, but you know, but I could not hate you for maybe an hour, you know, or so. But I don't think they do. Again, views are crossed and their code of conduct is like not fucking people over on the same side, in the same fight, blah blah blah. That's pretty much what that episode was about. It was basically Bella is on borrowed time like Dean, but she's obviously hearing the hellhounds, which means her time is up. When you can hear them, that's it.
Probably one of the best episodes out of that season. Besides 16, I loved episode 16. But I honestly loved the build-up for 16 because of 15.
Yeah, because people will do anything to escape or to, you know, put someone else in the line of fire to protect themselves if it's going to get them, like, what, a better deal or extra time or that type of thing. And that's what was a kind of build up because this season, I don't know, they said it was because of the episodes, they weren't sure if they were going to get renewed, but when I thought about it, they only gets 1 year to live, as well as they would have to show that in a kind of sped up time. Remember, the time frame's different. Remember, we spoke about it in season 1 and season 2. We don't know how long they're staying for a case. So I thought maybe if it was 12 episodes, it would be like every month, but you never know. That's the thing, because there was a lot of filler episodes that really didn't have a story. So it was like a easy year for them, if you know what I mean, of hunting, because hardly anything happened. So, season 3, episode 16, finale, the roundup, no rest for the wicked. We hear this song, Carry On My Wayward Son, played by Kansas. Again, thank you, Supernatural Writers, for this awesome intro and recap. Again, every recap, every roundup, every intro from basically now, from season 2 basically onwards, that's it. Season 1 had loads of music in it. Season 2, not so much. Season 3, not so much either. But it's the build-ups to this continuation of the story. That's what I love about it. I don't know about you, but that's what gets me excited about the next season and what to expect. And the episode's not even started yet because they do this recap and the way they do it. So there's less than 30 hours to go till the deadline to hell. Bobby's still looking as he does because he knew from the start there wasn't a way to get out. We find out Ruby knew all that time that she wouldn't be able to stop the deal, yet she strung them along. Didn't I just say that at the start? Never trust a demon. This is season 3. We don't make rookie fucking mistakes. But yet, they did. Dean didn't know this was all Sam leaving that bitch because she was trying to string up a relationship with Sam so Sam would trust her at some point. And that's what you find out, that she's playing both sides. It's dirty. And I'd expect it from someone like her. I really, really do. So it says Bobby's trying to track down Lilith because they don't know where the fuck she is. They know that there's like a congregating of demons in a random place, but they don't know why. They don't really put 2 and 2 together and realise that this is Lilith's like headquarters, if you will. She's possessing a wee girl and keeping her family, the wee girl's family, hostage, where they eat birthday cake every single day for dinner, and she's got to be read a fairy tale. And if you don't, she literally will kill someone. She's basically the brattiest of brat, and a child's body is probably the best body for how she was actually acting. So a brutal end for a deal. Best bits of this season, basically. Are we enjoying the shortened season? This is what it should be. Each season, less filler, better quality of episode. Dean calls Ruby a slutty Yoda. That was actually something that I found hilarious. Ruby wants to teach Sam how to use his gifts, and Dean's opposed to it. Now, again, this is what I was saying just before. She has ulterior motives, and Sam, all he sees is Dean, and Dean, all he sees is Sam. So again, she knows how to work them. The last songs before death that he wants, that he's singing in the Impala is Bon Jovi, Dead or Alive. Alive, sorry, ooh. And even Sam rips the piss out of him for it. They chime in on the grandfather clock. Midnight and time's up. The race against time to save Dean is up and the grandfather clock is chiming. It's midnight and Dean is going to hell. Poor Dean. Sam's already crying as he has failed. Ruby says she wouldn't wish this on her own worst enemy, but she strung them along anyway. Now he can hear the hellhounds, and he sprinkled the goof of dust, and Sam gives Ruby the knife, and it's not Ruby. Lilith is in Ruby's body, and she loves Ruby's body. She even kisses Sam and says she's been wanting to meet him for a very long time, and says his lips are soft. That doesn't sound creepy coming from, it sounds like a forever child demon who's just hijacked a lassie's body, then kissed Sam, and been all creepy and thirsty about it. Hellhounds tearing Dean apart in front of Sam. Lilith is loving it. Then supernatural screen comes up and it's like Dean's lifeless body. Sam goes to stab Ruby with the demon knife and the black smoke leaves her body. Sam's greeting, which is crying by the way, because his brother's gone and he couldn't save him, and all you see is a zoom into Dean's eye, very lost, and him screaming from hell, chained up Hellraiser style, begging to be saved and screaming Sam. Basically, the last episode is them just waiting for Dean to die or be sent to hell because there's nothing to do. I don't think this is a good ending, season 3. The intro had a better rapport, I think, with me than the actual full episode itself. I really didn't like season 3, and season 2 had some right stinkers. It really did. I feel that season 3, that I didn't realise how boring and how unimportant really it was. They could have just instead of giving him a year, just killed him there and then. Then it could be Sam trying to get him back. They could have easily did something like that for season 3.
Yeah, I could have.
Yes, they could have. And all those filler episodes, we could have actually ended with season 13, since it's a supernatural season of shows, and ending on 13 would just be great with 13 episodes. 13 episodes for season 13, but hey.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if you did not like the breakdown of season 3, but I was subjected to watching that over and over again, and I do love this show. I may talk about how much we love this show, but there is some doozies, I would got to say, between the seasons. But season 3 it took a lot to get through 16 episodes, and yes, I wasn't well, and neither were you as well, but I couldn't get through it. It was like pulling teeth. It was terrible. And usually I can just think, oh, but there's a good episode coming up. I was just like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, it had its fair share of fillers. I think
It was more filler than content.
I think 3, 5, and 6, if I can remember correctly, before we actually start getting into the heavier storyline, have the most fillers. Everybody knows season 6 and 7 is kind of where like the whole main storyline starts to actually kick into play. Yeah, granted, season 4 you finally get introduced to other characters. Season 5 you get introduced to more characters.
They expand the universe, basically.
Yeah, they start to expand it to where there's still a bunch of fillers, but the fillers in those episodes, some, not all, in my opinion, do have a rite of passage. And that is going to be few and far in between, but because of the expansion into the universe of adding these new characters, it's much needed. Just like how I thought the backstory episode of Bobby was a filler episode to where you didn't because it was needed, it's kind of going to be the same thing throughout the rest once they fully get the expansion into full circle. So the filler episodes, in my opinion, in some of the seasons have a rite of passage. Not all of them. It's probably like one per season. But other than that, this season by far has had the most filler episodes that, quite honestly, if we were to take them out, the story still would have made sense.
And also, it's the shortest season, and it has the most
Yes.
fillers, and also the most fillers, like, back to back. That's the thing.
And I wonder if they did that on purpose, to be honest with you, because what I wonder is if maybe they were like, oh, filler episode, well, let's put it into one full season and see how it goes. Season 3, like you said from the beginning, was the season to where they didn't think they were going to get renewed. So that was quite honestly a very bold part on
dragging it out.
CW. To just throw filler episodes instead of storyline, and they got renewed for another 12 seasons after that. So
At this time, people who were already hooked, if you know what I mean. So leaving them on the hook, if you know what I mean. The fans.
I mean, that's like the episode, and I can't remember if it was previous seasons or if it's going to be an upcoming season. Scaredy Cat. I think it was in the previous seasons, either 2 or 1. I can't remember. But where Dean is absolutely scared of everything.
Yes, that's really funny now.
So it's a filler episode, but
it's funny.
It's comical, and as much as it was not needed, it was worth it, because pretty sure, like I said, I can't remember if it was the previous 2 seasons or if it's in upcoming seasons, however it is, but it was put in between serious moments. So just to have that comic relief was worth it, and then it right back into slapping your face with, serious moments. So, but guys, we do love Supernatural. Don't get us wrong. That's where our concept of our podcast had originally come from before we expanded it. And also, we expanded it because our lovely Darcy had to go back and start rewatching. That is another reason why it got expanded, because this is something we wanted to do. This is something that we were like, hey, this is great to do. While I rewatch these seasons, how about we do other things? And absolutely was worth it. And we are coming, getting close to the holidays. What is today? The 19th. 3 days ago was the anniversary, some odd years ago. It's nice to be able to have somebody in my life that I can actually connect with like this and do these certain things with, because him and I would sit for hours talking about movies, watching movies, and stuff like that. So this is something that kind of hits home for me, and having Darcy along the way, especially somebody who has the same weird, goofy ass mentality as I do, just makes everything it feels like home when I'm on the podcast with you, Darcy. I'm throwing that out there. So
I was saying, you always come across as a nice one, and I come across as a complete cunt constantly, because I'm just like, oh, I just don't like things, and I hate people.
No, I mean, you guys, one thing you guys don't realize, because Darcy and I, the podcast is not the only time her and I talk. She is, spoiler alert to anybody who doesn't know Darcy, she's actually a very nice person. But she also has the same mentality as me, and she don't put up with bullshit. So, there's that.
Or if I am, it means that my eyes are open, but there is no one home.
Which is me on a daily basis, to be honest. So
lights are on, but there is no one home.
Exactly. But, guys, Supernatural is something that we absolutely love. Supernatural is something that we will continue to go through.
But do you like season 3? Have we been harsh? Have I been terrible? Have I really not seen the bigger picture? Do you think I'm missing something? Please let us know in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, follow. Go on to our other profiles where you've got LunarXRising on Twitch and on YouTube, and also Instagram. And I've got the same for Behind the Mash Reviews. And again, you'll see all that stuff. And our channel has Confessions of the Darkside, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, Spotify, and God knows whatever. You go into Buzzsprout and it will take you to all the different places where you can actually access our podcasts on whatever platform that you choose to use, basically. So that's us for season 3. Can't wait for season 4, and we'll catch you on the next Confessions from the Front Seat of the Impala.
I'm LunarXRising.
I'm Darcy Darkness.